I have 𝗵𝘃𝗀𝗻 with us. She is one of our beautiful soul sisters that's going to be graduating from WiseMind Soul Warrior Yoga Psychology School. And I would love to just start with you sharing a little bit about your yoga journey and then how you and I connected.
Sure. So I had been practicing yoga for probably 2 years before I found you or stumbled upon you online. And I was seeking to grow in my practice in a different direction than just a physical state. And really, I live in Orlando, Florida, which is a large metropolitan area. So you would think that there would be something like that around, but there really wasn't. And I didn't even know if it existed until I found you. And I was like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. And I reached out to you, and you offered to call me, which I thought was very generous, given that you have a large operation to run, and that you were willing to take the time out to talk to someone completely new, a stranger that you knew nothing of, or wasn't referred by a friend or anything like that, just to make sure that you and I and what I was seeking and what you were offering were a good fit, which I found very comforting right off the bat, because it wasn't like a call for a hard sales pitch, or to just try to pull one more person in. It was really about, for you, making sure that you were going to be able to offer something valuable. And so I found that very, very comforting. Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that. I remember the first time, like, you and I getting on too. And I've talked about this, like, with some other calls that I've gotten on, where it's just like an instant soul sister connection. You know what I mean? Like, you and I, it was just like, it was in those instance. And so you and I are big believers in, like, divine intervention.
Yes.
And, God putting the dots together, that he somehow orchestrates all this for you and I to get connected, right? When you think about the millions and billions, actually billions of people, Eve, that are on Facebook,
Yes.
Right? The fact that I showed up in your feed, right? Like, just that alone is like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, the percentage of that is so small. Does that make sense? Like, the fact that
the algorithm doesn't, put you with everyone. And there are billions, as you said, people either on Insta or Facebook or both. And we always think, I think as scrollers, we think, oh, everything just shows up in front of us. And it really doesn't. There's tons of information, data that you don't see on a day-to-day basis. So what you do see, sometimes you have to really pay attention to the fact that it means something.
Right. That sometimes it's like almost like a sign, like, hello, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That's a yoga term, like a yoga phrase.
Yep.
But yeah, the percentage, I mean, we could talk about, like you said, the algorithm stuff is crazy, right? I mean, when you look at the percentage, like, even when we're doing marketing stuff and say our reach is like 4 million people, I'm just throwing out a number.
Right.
There might be 200,000 people of those, you know what I'm saying? And then they're like the percentage of that actually see it.
So, yes.
Yes. So it's crazy. Anyway. Okay. So, so you shared a little bit already about what it was like to get on a call with me. And I really appreciate, like, your gratitude, actually, like, that you're even, acknowledging the fact that I do get on these calls with students that I don't know. Like you said, I'm there, like, showing up in full, like, no expectation of, let's just chat about, here's what you're struggling with, or here's the goals that you want to achieve potentially out of a program, and here's where you want to go, and here's the gap. And is there a fit, right? Is there a fit with us, teacher student? And is there a fit with the program? And so that's where I see it more as a custom consultation versus, like you said, a sales pitch.
Right.
I'm not here to want to talk anybody into doing something they don't want to do. We want to bring people in that are ready for transformation, if that makes sense, and they're ready to step into this. even though no one's ever 100% ready, and that's okay, but being able to step beyond like all the fears and doubts and all the things, the thousand things that your thinking mind tells you why not to take action. Okay. And that's getting on a call, because it will literally give you 1,000 reasons not to do that. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
And
I
fear
went through
is
that
one of them.
myself. You saw that.
Yeah, I know, like when we first started talking, and then as we talked more, and then we connected after the call, and we worked through things, we worked through your questions, and we worked through all that stuff. And, you know, if someone's really wanting to step into transformation and they're here and they're wanting to really change their life, you know, we're here to support those students. And I also work with them on, you know, different financial ways that we can support them as well. And you know that because I worked with you on that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm here. I can put custom things together. So I want to put that out there, because those students out there that are scared, that are like, oh my gosh, this program is like $20,000. It's not. And second of all, I will work with you. I've worked with students putting custom plans together since I started. Okay.
Yes. I mean, that I was going to mention that because I don't think if you weren't so flexible and offered different options for payment and for timing and things like that, that I wouldn't have been able to participate. And I really, really wanted to. And so I feel like that's just another part of something I'm grateful for in terms of what you offer. And it shows your commitment to your calling and to your mission versus, you know, just to the business side. I mean, there has to be a business side, but it goes for you, it goes beyond that. And that is so important for people to understand that there are options if you feel overwhelmed, and that it's undoable or untainable. Yeah, that Jennie will definitely work with you to figure those pieces out so that you can be where you want to be.
Yeah. I appreciate that, girl.
Yeah, you're going to hear me say a lot of stuff today I've never said to you before.
All right. Well, I'm going to put the link in the comments. Okay. So it's, actually, I'm sorry, I put the wrong link in the comments. Let me put a different link in the comments. It's Monday morning, girl. I think I need another cup of coffee.
I'm drinking mine while we're talking.
Okay, so I'm putting the link in the comments. You can book a call there. Again, no pressure. Okay. We already said that. I'm sure we'll say it again. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you've seen on your own personal transformation through this. And let me just take a minute to share, and then you can kind of share a little bit more, Eve. I feel like we connected in so many ways because we're so similar in our past patterns, right? Like we both come from a corporate backgrounds. We both have struggled with like perfectionism and like, you know, maybe overworking sometimes, or maybe pushing ourselves too hard, I guess is a good word. You know, I shared with you how I pushed myself to burnout. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, that there is like a real story behind why I run this program. Right. And a big part of it is I don't want other students to have to suffer to the point where I did. I want to be able to take like 6 years and put it in 6 months. You know, I don't want anyone to have to go to that place of the dark soul that I did. So I'm sitting here like trying to give people like, here's wisdom that has taken me like 10 years of therapy and training and coaching to get this point. So there's all of that. And then there's like our belief systems that are the same, right? So there's that connection as soul sisters. And I want you to share, because I know through this journey that you obviously ran into some challenges with you getting breast cancer. And originally you were going to start with us last July, which you did. And then somewhere in that time, you got, you know, diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I remember you like reaching out to me, and you were a little bit in a panic, like, and I was just like, girl, don't even worry about this. Like, we will be here and we will support you when the timing is right, when you need us to support you. So we decided to put you into this last cohort that started in February. Right. So share a little bit about like what that was like, what you want to share, and how has the program also supported you like through that healing process as well?
Yeah. Okay, so like you said, we connected on many different levels, and I started with the cohort that was before this one that we're in now, and I started to see immediate changes just in myself in terms of working through having the opportunity to work with others and yourself through perfectionism and through the mother worker self always extending beyond what we even have to give. And I found myself feeling much more comfortable and willing to say no to things that I normally would have said yes to, because I wasn't full-heartedly into them. And this was happening, this transformation, this change was not only happening in my personal life, but it was also happening at work. If, you know, someone asked me to help, of course I'm always going to help. But if opportunities were being presented and someone said, hey, do you want to work on this new project? You know, I really normally would be the high achiever. Yes, I'm type A personality. Absolutely. And that one too, and that one too, and that one too. No problem. And the older I got, the more I realized like this really isn't benefiting me personally and or professionally. And someone's getting something out of this, but it's not me. And so I started to look at things more of, you know, am I able to add value to what is being offered to me, and or am I able to gain something from that in terms of education or experience, versus just being the yes person. And I found that there were times where I was like, no, I mean, some big things. And I said, I don't think that I'm the right fit for that. Or, you know, maybe we should allow somebody else to step in and take that opportunity, you know, to shine or whatever. And then that was at work. And then even with friends, you know, there's lots of times, you know, you are afraid to say no, or like, I think I'm going to skip this one because you're afraid they're not going to ask you next time. Right. And it was letting go of some of that, maybe control or expectation, and just kind of falling into what will be, and accepting that the universe has a plan. We just have to kind of let it happen. And taking my whole demeanor changed to the point where, you know, my CIO at work would say, and a VP had directly asked me, what are you doing different? Like, what's changed? Something's changed. And that's when I realized, okay, you know, it's not just a choice that I'm making now, but it's a lifestyle that I'm like living and embracing in terms of taking time for myself. The program forces you in a way also to do a lot of self focus, and there's shadow work, there is breath work, meditation, and all of these things together. Maybe not all of them will work for you, or will you find them, you know, highly valuable, but there are niches and things that you will find that work. And that's the beauty of the program itself in terms of the broad stroke of education that it offers and experiences, that you can find what works for you. And if you're seeking to find more peace, to find that, you know, you look at, sometimes I would look at people and say, you know, wow, they're so calm, or like even toned. And I'm like, I've never been like that. I don't think I can ever be like that. I'm a goer. And that has changed for sure, but in a good way. There's a lot less of me participating in things, even conversations, even at home. There can be, you know, families can have drama and turmoil, and I just don't participate. And that is unlike me, because before I would have to try to maybe control the narrative so that everybody was happy, because I'm the peacemaker from childhood and I have to make sure everything's good. And I've overcome that.